Welcome to a new series of mystical perspectives, an inspiring weekly show with affirmations, insights, and meditations based on Dr. Paul Leon Masters' books and teachings. I'm Reverend Cindy Paulos, and we've been talking a lot about these affirmations from his new book, Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations. We're going to continue today and talk about living your life free of limitations. You can pick up this book at metaphysics.com or amazon.com. Again, it's Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations. Now, this particular subject I've been meditating on all week. It's a very deep subject, and it's really huge. It has to do with the way that we really, truly can get past our blocks and limitations, and it's not easy sometimes. It means literally removing yourself from the illusion and getting to that Christ consciousness. I'm going to read the affirmation starting with defining limitations. From a perspective of ultimate self-truth, I define limitation as an illusion of personal selfhood or separation of identity from the ultimate presence of God. It's interesting to define limitation with no limitations. Ultimate self. I accept that my ultimate self is Christ consciousness, or internal mind one-ment with the unlimited presence of Christ God self. And we'll repeat the ultimate self. I accept that my ultimate self is Christ consciousness, or eternal mind one-ment with the unlimited presence of God within me. And the next one's meditation. Through my daily practice of meditation, I establish and maintain contact with the unlimited part of my Christ God self. Through my daily practice of meditation, I establish and maintain contact with the unlimited part of my Christ God self. This is a very key thing. Through meditation, we connect with that God presence within, and it's our way to actually find that we are in tune with that source of all. And it's key to all of these teachings, actually. We always recommend meditating every day. The next one's a visualization, so it's a visualization and an affirmation. At least once daily, I take a few moments to visualize or imagine that I am part of the unlimited, infinite Christ light body of God's presence within me. Now visualize this as I repeat it. At least once daily, I take a few moments to visualize or imagine that I am part of the unlimited, infinite Christ light body of God's presence within me. Now, the light body is one that we're building. We can build it while we're here on earth, and then we can use it to travel onwards. Release. I release my personal self-beliefs and corresponding limitations to the unlimited presence of God within me. Repeating. I release my personal self-beliefs and corresponding limitations to the unlimited presence of God within me. Just let's release. I love releasing. Mind freedom. I declare that my mind can be one with God's mind, which knows all freedom, for it is all things with power within all creation. Well, that's a big one. And freedom is a huge, huge, huge subject. So I'll repeat it one time here. I declare that my mind can be one with God's mind, which knows all freedom, for it is all things with power within all creation. What a great thing to relate to. I love that concept. The next one is soul freedom. Through God's presence within me, my very soul. God's freedom to be is a part of my innermost nature, my soul, to be free of illusionary limitations. And repeating, through God's presence within me. Repeat that. Through God's presence within my very soul, God's freedom to be is a part of my innermost nature, my soul, to be free of illusionary limitations. The soul is with us always. We have it when we die. We've had it through lifetimes. We can connect with our soul and be in tune with it in meditation. And what we're saying here is there's that freedom to be part of the innermost nature of the soul, to be free of the illusionary limitations. The soul doesn't hold the illusions and the limitations. It's our personality, it's our mind, it's our body. It's the illusions that hold those limitations. Next is holistic freedom. Through my oneness with God's presence within me, I have unlimited freedom to express holistically through my body, my mind, and my soul. All right, repeating. Through my oneness with God's presence within me, I have an unlimited freedom to express holistically through my body, my mind, and my soul. The whole thing, right? Focusing is the last one here. If I ever start to feel limited, I catch myself or mind and focus on Christ conscious oneness with the unlimited presence and freedom of God at the center of my beingness. Repeating, if I ever start to feel limited, I catch myself or mind and refocus on the Christ conscious oneness with the unlimited presence and freedom of God at the center of my beingness. Focus is so key. I used to have a teacher when I was in madrigals at Beverly Hills High School. And the very first thing he'd say would be, focus. And I still remember it. The power of focusing is our intention, and it's a very, very big key. We're going to talk a little bit about this freedom. You know, what came to my mind when I first was thinking of the word freedom, it came to my mind. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Remember that one? It's from Kris Kristoferson's song, which was sung by Janis Joplin. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. What a powerful, powerful line. I'll repeat it. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, and nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. So that's kind of breaking through the illusions right there, isn't it? When we have that, it's, how do we get free? Well, if we have a lot of things going on and a lot of attachments in our life and a lot of investments, it's hard to be free. It could be our people, our relationships, it could be our work, but it's hard. Now, when you're young, it's pretty easy to be free. A lot of people take off after high school, before college, or right after college. And if you're retired, you might be able to. But in the in-between space, sometimes it's very difficult to feel that you have nothing left to lose. If you have acquired a lot, that's even more difficult. When we're held down by these obligations, we can be controlled by others and many concerns. And that can place limitations on us. It can be indeed challenging to be free, to do what you want. Sometimes we don't even realize that we aren't free to do what we want and that there are limitations until something comes up and all of a sudden you realize, gosh, I can't do that, and all the reasons why you can't do it comes up. But how many people do you know who would live their life free of limitations? Do you know some? What makes it possible for them? Do you have limitations? Are you controlled in your life? Are you free? It came to mind when I was thinking of this also was what Jesus said. Jesus said, follow me. And I wonder if Jesus came to my life right now, or if Jesus came to your life and said, follow me, if you could really drop everything and follow him. I follow both the Christian and mystical Christianity, very different than other forms of Christians' beliefs, but I follow the mystic Christianity, and I also am a Buddhist. And I've studied Buddhism and took my precepts in 1986. And I had a wonderful Zen teacher, and he repeated a koan, which has become really a deep one that many people share. And this subject made me think of it. A man was traveling across a field, and he encountered a tiger. He fled, he ran, and the tiger came after him. Coming to a precipice, he caught hold of the root of a wild vine and swung himself down over the edge. The tiger sniffed at him from above. Trembling, the man looked down to where, far below, another tiger was waiting to eat him. Only the vine sustained him, and he's hanging there from that vine. And all of a sudden, two mice, one white and one black, little by little start gnawing away at the vine that he's holding on to. The man saw a luscious strawberry near him. Grasping the vine with one hand, he plucked the strawberry with the other. How sweet it tasted. Now, there's a thing about Zen koans. You're supposed to not necessarily have an answer from someone else. It's supposed to come to you from within, and it's something that's supposed to trigger this like mind shut off so that you can actually experience enlightenment. And this is a very interesting one, and it's been discussed for so many years. But some people think that that moment of eating the strawberry is that moment where he's truly in the moment and free. And some think that, he was creating the tiger and that it doesn't matter at all if he falls because that whole thing is an illusion. And we created a story, of course, that is an illusion. But so is life. So when we're in a situation where we're kind of stuck, what is the answer? This is a very important subject. This is where we then have to go back within, all right? And we have to really go back to that Christ consciousness or that enlightenment, because Christ consciousness and enlightenment are extremely close to the same thing. And Christ consciousness is a thing that we can attain, but Christ was in that state of consciousness at all time. He didn't slip out of it. Enlightenment we can attain, but it's hard to maintain as well. I wrote this poem on the subject while meditating on this. Oh, this cocoon that holds me, locked within, aching to break free of limitations so I can begin again. Oh, the heavenly rays of light that bring the vision and insight to the passageway to take so I can release these blocks that I imagine are holding me. And there is in my soul a memory in my deepest DNA, a way to be free, to remember the Creator holds a key. And life changes form continuously, from a cocoon to become a butterfly, and as a butterfly to dance in the light. Oh, this cocoon that holds me for just a short while until I break free. So again, as we were saying in the affirmations, on a higher perspective, our souls are free. But we can easily believe we are trapped in a cage of our own making, just like that person hanging from the vine with the mice chewing away and the tigers on either side, above and below. We are subject always to Maya's illusions, and we don't realize it, but we are holding on to those illusions, and we are making our own cages. There is karma, a part of this aspect, We come here, and there's karma we create. There's karma we have brought in our DNA through our past generations. And yes, we have to always return back to that meditation, and we also need to pray to get to that point where we are free and we can enjoy the moment and we can be with the presence. I wrote this prayer I'll share. Lord, you hold the unlimited radiant light of all. Let your formless source be present in the true Christ Spirit. Let us learn by your example as a teacher and a healer to be at one with God. Let us learn from his loving heart of love. Help us to be open to the unlimited power of this love in our life. We can be a part of this network of all those who are agents of God's presence and being, unlimited by our fears, unlimited by the control of our ego and mind that we use for our personal gain, unlimited in the good that God can bring also through the simple acts of kindness that come from understanding the need for this love in the world today. For as the Christ taught, we can live in the pure love that is there within the heart. And this love is the most powerful force in the universe. It's not for us to package or manipulate, and it's not for us to mask our true nature. For we can't hide who we truly are. It's the unlimited truth that speaks from our souls. It's the very heart of the matter. It's the very truth of all truths that's our eternal life. And in every single prayer, that truth is there. I'm going to read a little bit of a meditation here, and I invite you to relax and take a few breaths here as you can join in this meditation. It's a meditation to release all blocks and limitations and frustrations that come with them. So if you have a particular issue that you are thinking of that maybe occurs to you that's blocking or limits you, right? Put that up there and let that be allowed to be free. Let's take some deep breaths in. Breathe in deeply and hold your breath for a few moments and release your breath. Breathe in, be aware of your breath. Breathe out. Listen and watch your breath going in and out. Relax, let go, release any tension in your body. Make room for the presence of God to come into your being. Feel the pure, unlimited flow of God's light and love right now. Be in the center of that place in your being where you are free and unlimited, where you receive unlimited light and love attuned to the universal frequencies. Be anchored in a network of positive, radiant, unlimited energy that is holding the portal of alignment open to the love that can activate a new pattern that human existence can work with, so that the plan to serve humanity for goodwill can happen. Allow God's energy to be present right now in the heart and soul. And we can work with the network of those who are serving the plan of light and love. We can be free to choose to be a force for the good. We can choose love over hate. We can choose to be free. We can forgive the past that's held us. We can become an awakened channel for God's unlimited light and love to fulfill our purpose here on earth. So breathe in that freedom. Let go of anything blocking you. Let go of any limitations. And let the light that is your very source fill you and cleanse you and give you the strength to be free, to be the love that can change the world. Let the love that is in the heart of God be your guiding light to see the answer to every question. The one way to find solutions in your life. And let the will that can create the course of your dreams be attuned with an intention to the highest purpose, so that you can be in that Christ consciousness and fulfill the plan of heaven on earth. And may you be able to be the light and live with the love and become the way of truth to serve the blessings of God in this life with love and understanding the unconditional power of being free. Know the joy of this so that you can live in light and find peace now and forevermore. Breathe this in. Believe it. And maybe if you keep a journal handy, you can write down any thoughts that have come to you. What you need to be able to do is be strong enough in that inner power that it can always be there for you when you are out of balance. You can create a balance, And once you do, you have that power to put that trigger, throw the switch to say, okay, I'm going to be in that Christ consciousness. I'm going to overcome the challenges. This is a very important part of just realizing as well that we are deciding what we want to do and what we are doing at any given moment. I had an enlightenment experience at a very early age. I was 15 years old, and I experienced being in that enlightenment, that Christ consciousness, unlimited love, unlimited light, the brightest light, the light of a million suns. I left my body. I connected with the highest power. And I realized at that point that indeed I was in my life exactly where I was choosing to be. I didn't realize it, but I realized through karma and everything else that indeed that was, and what I was doing was exactly what I was meant to do. It was part of my soul purpose. But we forget that. We keep telling ourselves that it's circumstances and other things going on in our lives that control us. But what is happening is a lot of times we're choosing to be right where we are, but we can also choose if we don't like it, and if we are blocked, and if we are limited, to choose to be in a higher state. This is always our choice, and we can, through the power of affirmations and the power of meditations, choose to be the highest force for good. And these affirmations are extremely helpful in doing that. I'm going to read a lovely, it's a translation of the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. There's been many versions of this translation, but this is a very powerful one. Father, Mother of the cosmos, shimmering light of all, focus your light within us as we breathe your holy breath. Enter the sanctuary of our hearts, uniting within us the sacred rays of your power and beauty. Let your heart's desire unite heaven and earth through our sacred union. Help us to fulfill what lies within the circle of our lives today. Forgive our secret fears as we freely choose to forgive the secret fears of others. Let us not enter forgetfulness tempted by false appearances, for from your astonishing fire comes the eternal song which sanctifies all, renewed eternally in our lives and throughout creation. We seal these words in our hearts, committed in trust and faith. I love that version, and I learned it in Aramaic as well. And I have to say it's very, very powerful. I read it every morning. I'd like to really encourage you to remember to meditate, to make that connection to God, to take the power to connect with Christ consciousness, that enlightened state in your life. The time is really now. And if you're listening to this, you're listening for a reason. I highly recommend getting Dr. Paul Leon Masters' book, Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations. I found it to be extremely helpful. I've been studying for over 50 years, and it's amazing to me how this one book has really still brought me back to the basics of learning everything that I need to face myself and realize what I can do to make my life better. The book is called Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations, and you can get it at metaphysics.com, or you can go to amazon.com and get it. Dr. Masters also has another book called Mystical Insights, Knowing the Unknown. I have a radio station I program, KUOS FM. That's KUOS standing for University of Sedona. KUOS FM, and I broadcast this lecture and Dr. Master's lectures on KUOS FM. And I find it really helpful for me to listen to his lectures. There's also excerpts from the wonderful book that Dr. Masters wrote called Mystical Insights, Knowing the Unknown there. So you can listen at KUOSFM.com. You can also listen by going to TuneIn Radio and putting KUOS. I find it really great. You'll love the music as well. I pick music that's very, very spiritually oriented, and I think you'll find that helpful. And I recommend you going to my site I created just for this show. It's called mysticalperspectives.com. And it has all of the shows that I've recorded so far. And I also put my show notes up there so you can follow along with what I've read. I want to thank you so much for listening. It's been a treat to be able to share the time with you here. And remember, you have the power to remove the limitations in your life. And you have the power to be free. And you have the power to be connected to the one source there of God within you and Christ consciousness. God bless you, and I hope you enjoy every single moment of your day, and I'll talk to you again next week.